In today's lesson, we are still in the world of graphing and lines, but what we are doing today is I'm going to give you the graph and you are going to write the equation of that line. So in the last unit, I gave you the equation and you had to graph it. So this section is just as simple, but in this one, we are giving you the graph and you're writing the equation. So the first thing that you have to know is to write the equation of the line. We are going to want it in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. That means that we're going to figure out what the m is, and we are going to figure out what the b is. So it says step 1, find the b. The b is the y-intercept of my line. And then it says to find the m. The m is the slope. We find the m by picking two perfect points. That will make sense in just a second. Then we write it as y equals mx plus b. So in this one here, it says step 1, find the y-intercept. So the y-intercept of this line is where my line touches the y-axis. So this line touches the y-axis at the number positive 4. So for b in my information box, I know that my b is a 4. Then I need to find the next perfect point. So I follow down my line. Here it is. There is the next perfect point. So to get from my y-intercept to the next point, we are dropping down the elevator, and then we are running away. So in this one here, we're dropping down 3 and to the right 2. So the slope of this is down 3 and over 2. So m is negative 3 over 2. So my equation of the line, I now have a slope, which is my m, and I have a y-intercept, which is the b. So my final equation is y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4. Very easy. It's easiest to find the b first, the y-intercept, and then find the slope. Slope is always rise or fall over run. So let's try the same thing in the next 3 examples. Okay, so when we are writing the equation from a line, it's always useful to draw an information box. The information box allows me to collect the slope and the y-intercept, so I can take those numbers and put them in slope-intercept form. So in this example, I like to find the b first. That's my y-intercept. This one, it's kind of hard to tell, but that's at the number positive 3. Y-axis, positive 3. To find the next perfect point, here it is. So I can go from my y-intercept, I can go up 1 and to the right 3. So when we write the slope, it's always the rise or fall number, and then it's your run number. So in this example, it went up 1 and to the right 3. So the equation of this line is y equals 1 over 3x plus 3. This was my slope. It went up 1 and over 3. This is my y-intercept. It touched the y-axis at positive 3. Let's try the next 2, and then you can try some on your own. So in this next example, again, I need an m. That's my slope, how it moves. And I need a b. That's my y-intercept. So in this example, my y-intercept right here is at the number positive 4. My m, from that point, here's the next perfect point. So it falls 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes to the right 1. So my b is down 4 and over 1. So the equation is y equals negative 4 divided by 1 is the number negative 4. Gets an x with it, plus my y-intercept. My y-intercept is a positive 4. Let's try one more example together. Begin on your y-axis. My b is my y-intercept, and this one, my b is 2. M is how the number moves from the y-intercept to the next perfect point. So here's a perfect point on this side. Here's one right here. So to get from one point to the next, it is going up and over. So went up 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. So my M is up 3 and over 1. Now that I have an M and a B, I can write this in slope-intercept form. 3 divided by 1 is the number 3 with an x plus 2. Very easy. Start with your y-intercept. That's the number that will go in the back. Move with your slope. Your slope is always rise or fall over run. Go ahead and flip to the back, please. Okay. So now in your practice problems, it says, label whether your line is positive or negative. That'll make sense in just a second. Then we are going to draw our information box. So in number 1, this line, when we read it from left to right, it is falling. So this is a negative line. So what that means is that my slope is going to be negative. My number that's with the x has to be a negative. So I can already cross out A, that does not have a negative slope, and I can cross out D, that does not have a negative slope. So if it's falling from left to right, this is going to be a negative line. So now I'm going to write M equals, B equals, and turn that into my information box. In my information box, I like to begin with my y-intercept. That's the number, positive 1. Then I like to move to my next perfect point. Here it is. That crosses the corner of the box. So to get from my y-intercept to that next perfect point, it falls down 1 and over 2. I always like to jokingly say that we take the elevator number first. The up or down number gets written first. So that was this number right here. It was 1 block. And then the runaway number, the run number, is the bottom, which is a 2. So my slope went down 1 and over 2. So if my slope is negative 1 over 2, and my b is a positive 1, then my answer is B. Go ahead and try number 2. In number 2, again, let's start with, this line is going up the hill. So that's a positive graph. It's a positive slope. If it's positive, it means the slope is not going to be negative, and again, not going to be negative. So now I can draw my information box. M equals, B equals, make it a box so we don't lose our slope and our y-intercept. Your y-intercept here is right here in the middle. That's at the number 0. My M is how I move from the y-intercept to the next point. So this goes up 1 and over 3. Because the y-intercept is 0, there's no number in the back because 0 means there's no number back there. But my slope went up 1 and to the right 3. So go ahead and try the rest of this page. You're writing the equation from the graph that is given. Very easy. Very helpful. Draw your information box. Get your slope, get your y-intercept. It's easiest to get your y-intercept first and then get your slope. So once you have completed all of those equations from your graphs, go ahead and flip to the second page of today. Not difficult, a little bit different than the first piece, but we are still in the same idea. We're still writing the equation of a line. So when you are ready, go ahead and find this page in your packet, please. All right, so what we are doing now is we are writing the equation from a point and a slope. So if we look at example 1 right here, I know that the slope is a 2, and I know that it passes through 4, 5. So if you graphed that, here's the point 4, 5. It would be going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So it's this line just like that. So I have a point 4, 5, and I have a slope which is up 2 over 1. But in this example, I do not know where my y-intercept is. So I can't write the equation in slope-intercept form if I don't know where the y-intercept is. This is not the y-intercept. That's the number 4, 5, which is floating way over here in the first quadrant. So to be able to figure out the y-intercept, we are going to first fill out our information box. So we know for sure that the slope is 2. That piece is done. So we have half of our information. We know the m, but we do not know the b. So what we're going to do is use the formula y equals mx plus b. So it says, step 1, draw your information box. Done. Step 2, label x, y, and m. Okay, what that means is I know that this is an x, I know that this is a y, and it says that 2 is my m. Then it said plug the numbers into the equation. Okay, the equation says find your y value. Okay, my y value was a 5. Equals. Then it says find your m. My m is the number 2. Then it says find your x. Okay, here's x. X is the number 4. It's m times x, which is why I use parentheses. And then it says plus b. Nothing on here has the letter b. There is no y-intercept. There is no b. So I literally write plus b. So our goal is to solve for b. So we solve for b by plugging in all of those other numbers and just simplifying. That part's easy. 5 equals 2 times 4 is 8, plus b comes down. To get that b by itself, we need to subtract 8, minus 8 on both sides. 5 minus 8 is the number -3. So I just found out that my b value of this equation is the number -3. So I plugged in all of my numbers, m, x, and y, and I figured out my b number. So now I can write the equation of the line. It's y equals, my m is a 2. There's always an x next to the slope. My back number is a -3. That is how we write the equation of a line when we're given a point and a slope. So I'll do another one with you so that way you get it. And then you'll try a few on your own. So I'll do numbers 1 and 2. Ooh, the numbering is off. I apologize. I'll do the first 2. So in this first one here, it says step 1, let's label x, y, and it says that this is m. So I know that the equation, you can write it down, is y equals mx plus b. That is called slope-intercept form. The first thing it has is a y. So I'm going to plug my y value in. My y, before I do that, hold on, sorry. In this equation, the m and the b are what are most important. So in this one here, I already know the m. The m is a 1/2. It says that. But none of these numbers are labeled b. So I need to solve for b. So in order to solve for b, I plug in my numbers. So my y value is a 10 equals. My m is a 1/2. My x value is a 6. Then it says plus b. I have no clue what b is, so I'm just putting plus b. But now I can simplify. 10 equals half of 6 is 3 plus b. Last step, get b by itself by moving the 3 to the other side. 10 minus 3 is 7. So b equals 7. So the equation of my line is y equals 1/2 x plus b. So we'll do one more together, and then you'll try a few on your own. Number 2, step 1, label. This is my x. That's good. This is my y. This is my m. In order to write the equation of a line, I need a slope and I need a y-intercept. In this example, I know that my slope is -4 because it says that the m is -4. But it does not give me the y-intercept. I have no clue where this crosses the y-axis. I know the point that it crosses, but this point is not a y-intercept. So we need to solve for b. In order to solve for b, we plug in everything else, and we get b by itself. So y is the number 5, equals m, which is the number -4, times x plus b. -4 times 2 is the number -8 plus b. We get b by itself by moving the 8, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. 8 plus 5 is the number 13. So I found out that the b is 13. So my final answer is y equals my m number plus my b number, goes to the back. It's a really ugly 13, sorry guys. Okay, so try the same thing with this last one here. Plug in your pieces to solve for b, so that way I have both a slope and a y-intercept. In your last page, you're doing the same thing. It says write the equation that passes through the point. So a point is an x and a y, and it has a slope of -3. So my m is -3. So I know that my equation is y equals mx plus b. In order to solve for b, I don't know what b is yet. Let's first make our information box. So I know for sure that m is the number -3. Because it says right there, the slope is -3. But I have no clue what the y-intercept is. So we are going to solve for b by plugging everything else in the equation. So the y value is a 2 equals. The m value is a -3. The x value is a 1, so I put times 1. In the b, I have no clue, so I put plus b. We clean up parentheses by multiplying -3 times 1 is the number -3. Let the plus b just hang out. Get b by itself by moving your constant +3, +3. 2 plus 3 is 5. So I just found out that my b value is a 5. So my final answer is y equals -3x plus 5. Once I have an m and a b, I'm ready for slope intercept form. I draw my information box to help me collect the slope and the y-intercept. Go ahead and work through the rest of this page. Very easy.